everyone. I hope you're doing well. It is July 30th, 2024, the year of new beginnings. And I'm here with an encouraging word. This is something that I've probably been preparing in my heart for some time to share, but I feel like this is the right time to share it. Yeah, so today I'm sharing on in an instant, your life will change. This is actually a Rhema word that the Lord gave me in November. Actually, he's repeated it to me over the course of some time, but the first time he gave it to me was in November of 2015, I believe, and it had to do with what was coming and the shock and the horror that will ensue in the time to come. Now, that word he gave me was a word for everyone, because as we know, the times have been getting more dark and they're getting more challenging. And I think now it's more obvious than it had been probably 10 years ago. But I want to share this word because I want to share it from my own personal testimony and experience. And I want to share perhaps some helpful things to keep in mind if you're in this season or you're going to enter this season. Another thing to keep in mind is that we are all being refined at some point. So we've either said yes to the Lord and allowed Him to begin that sanctification process in us, or we have been stubbornly disobedient and have chosen not to. But if you are in the place where you have chosen not to so far, then this word is probably for you. In fact, everybody who's watching this or who will watch this video, there is something for you today. And I've already prayed over this video before I started it. So in an instant, your life will change. Some of us have gone through this already. Some of us have experienced losing the life we had. I am one of those people, and this is why I feel the Lord has called me to share this, to encourage those of you who will go through this. Whether you go through it personally in your personal life, or whether you go through it during the time of, I want to say the time of sorrows, but we're kind of already in that time, but the time when things get really, really dark and really, 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 I can't even believe all of this is happening. And as far as time frames, I'm not really going to get into that today, probably, because that's a different teaching and a different video. But hello, welcome everyone in the chat. Good to see you. Welcome to my channel. Hope you're blessed today. Today I'm talking about in an instant your life will change. So this is a word of encouragement, and this is a word of preparation for you. I have a question. What's this channel about? I teach on the inner healing journey mostly on my channel. I do share spiritual teachings as well, and yeah, a little bit about a lot. It's really just how I feel led. I do share a lot of music and song messages. So yeah, it's a little bit about a lot. But today's message is a little bit heavy, I will say, but also encouraging. As many of you know, times are not what they used to be. Since the world thrown upside down 2020, That was a very pivotal shift. And we've been slowly seeing the manifestation of that shift in the natural realm. Now, what I want to share today is being ready for your life taking the unexpected turn. Those of you that have already gone through this, I welcome you to comment or share anything you've experienced that has helped you get through that time and that season in your life, because that's really what we're here for, is to help one another. And I'm one of those that I have gone through, as I say, the Job experience. I had, surrendered my life to the Lord, and I was walking with Him, and I had a different life. I was married before. I have 3 children, and I thought that was going to be it, and it wasn't. I was homeschooling mama, and my life was very different than it is now. But the Lord needed to redirect me because of the calling and assignment that He has on my life. And this is where, I will boldly say that a lot of times people can be discouraged away from God when you go through trials, when you go through times of testing and things don't make sense, and you're trying to pursue God, you're trying to, go in the right direction that you feel He's leading you, but you start seeing what looks like your life is falling apart is actually, and while it is, the life before Him begins to be dismantled. Because again, He wants to build us on His foundation. He wants to build us from the inside out. And some of it is us, and some of it is others connected to us. So this is a whole, multi-layered understanding of when I am choosing to spiritually, be restored to the Lord. I'm going to go through some things. I'm going to go through some massive changes in my life, personally, obviously within myself, mentally, emotionally, physically, and obviously spiritually. I'm going to go through some changes in my relationships with others. And I might, as in my case, go through a massive change in my life where my life does not look anything like it used to. And again, I say it's multi-layered because God has a plan and purpose for all of us, and the interesting part is it's what we dream of. Like, His vision for your life is so much more amazing than what you can perceive for yourself. And that took me a little bit to understand is, if I really trust Him with my life, He's gonna surpass my wildest dreams of what I think my life could be like. But that's a process, and the process sometimes can be excruciating. Hello everybody, welcome everybody. Discouraging, lonely. So my encouragement to you is, firstly, to understand that it is time to make a decision in your life if you haven't already, because times are going to become more challenging and more difficult, and we need to be spiritually sound. We need to be spiritually centered, and because that is where we get the strength for our soul. Somebody was asking, a lot of what I teach here is the soul, in the soul realm, and having your soul strengthened, because the soul is sort of the battleground where our physical self meets our spiritual self. So to understand the soul part of ourselves is so vital to handle life in general. And I won't get too much into it now, but we all have brokenness in our life. We have inherited brokenness because of the fall and because of our ancestors who have generational brokenness that we inherit. And then we have our own brokenness that we experience throughout life because of the life that we've been through. So with that said, it's important to know yourself, to master yourself, to come to the place of surrender. And you can't do that apart from the Lord helping you do that. But when you do that, and here's the encouragement, is that when you do choose, okay, I'm going to surrender my life to the Lord because I feel like, and of course everybody's in a different place right now, but for some of us, it's, I feel lost, I feel empty, I don't know why I'm here, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't have purpose, I don't have, vision, I really don't know why I'm here. For others, it's, well, I believe in God, but I'm not, I'm not a church person, I don't really, I don't see the value in it, but I can acknowledge that He exists. And for others, we have acknowledged that He exists, and we have chosen to receive the restoration of our spirit to Him so that we can fulfill the purpose of why we're here. In an instant. So let me get back to the word, because yeah, I'm a teacher. I like to just talk and talk and talk. So in an instant, everything will change. So this is a word that, I hope you guys can see me okay. This is a word that I received, as I said, about 10 years ago. And it had to do with everything changing around us. And that's been happening, as I said, that's been happening for some time. But when it happens to you personally, it can be very daunting. There is a season of grief because of the loss of the change in your life. And I don't know what that looks like for you, or what that will look like for you, for those of you who are going to go through this process. But there is going to be a time, as I said, either personally for you, or you're going to experience it with everyone else when things begin to manifest in terms of the I'm trying to find the right word that I want to use here. The sorrows and the judgments that are coming. It is going to be inescapable, because these things must take place for those of us who are still in the valley of indecision, for those of us that are still wayward and not sure. We have to come to a place. In fact, the Lord shared this with me in 2020, I think it was 2014, but it was this: everyone will be refined one way or another. So you either volunteer to be refined by, again, surrendering your life to the one who gave it to you, or you will be refined by proxy, because the earth is going to be refined. We're in a broken earth that is crying out, and it's been crying out to us for some time, because it's ready to be reborn. And before this happens, we're going to see some things, more things, things we don't want to see, but nonetheless, we need to be prepared. So my encouragement to you today is to ask yourself, am I prepared? Am I prepared if my life tomorrow was completely different than it is today. If I lost everything I've known, if I lost my everything. I mean, it's hard for me sometimes to talk about it, but at the same time, I see the process that the Lord has been taking me on, and I see that it wasn't just for me, although it was, and it wasn't just for my family, although it was, because at the end of the day, the Lord wants our heart. He wants your heart. He wants you, and the essence of you is your heart. He wants you whole. He wants you well. He wants you sound. And most of us, like I said, most of us have gone through something to inhibit us from receiving that restoration that the Lord is trying to give us. He's always trying to give it to us. It's a matter of, am I postured to receive what He's giving to me? And am I even cognizant that He's trying to give it to me? That's a whole other realm. But you will, when you come to this place of complete, and really what it is it's consecration. When the Lord sets you apart because He has something for you, something bigger, something you didn't expect, perhaps even for some of us, He needs to set you apart. And some of you are on this journey right now. Some of you have gone through this already, where the Lord literally has pulled you away from everything and everyone you've known to have that one-on-one time with you, to cleanse you, to wash away your filth, to wash away the pain, whatever it is for you, because we all have our different, things that we wrestle with and struggle with and come from. But all of this is I'm going from my old life to my new life. But in an instant, my life will change. Your life will change. Now, I've gone through this deep refinement. I've gone through losing everything that I believed was my life. And it was the worst experience ever. I mean, there was a time that I wasn't sure I was going to be able to go through it and handle and recover. But the Lord gave me the strength, and this is my encouragement to you. The Lord will give you the strength to go through whatever. Connected to you. But there might be a part 2 to this. Because that's another thing to understand. Those connected to you must also be in alignment to connect on the rest of the journey, if that makes sense. And that's also God's decision. There are seasons that people are in our lives, and then there are people in our lives beyond seasons. And that's something that requires discernment. But preparation for when your life does change, number one, you need to seek the Lord. He is the only salvation. He's the only one that's going to help you through everything in your life. excuse me, number 2, know that this is part of finding your true life. Number 3, know that you will get through whatever it is you're going through, or whatever it is you're going to go through. Number 4, discern those who the Lord is bringing into your life. Number 5, remember the spiritual gold. And I have all these teachings on my channel, but and above everything, remember this, that the Lord He's doing a wonderful work in you and in the earth and in the people of the earth, and this is just part of that process. So I hope you all are doing well. I am going to get going, and if you have any comments, please, I'll talk to you then.